So for this video I've gotten, sorry, but I don't even remember when Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing good. First of all, thank you guys for the overwhelming response that I've received on the announcement that I made in my last video. I mean, I'm not joking you guys, I did not expect the amount of response that I've gotten. Now, coming to today's video, I thought that, let's just take a break from all these intensive pageant preparation focused videos. And today it's a Sunday when I'm posting this video. So let's just sit back, give ourselves a break, and I'll do a story time video. So I'm going to be chatting with my girls about the most commonly asked question, that is, how do I become a model? How did you get into modeling? And you guys have a lot of questions, and trust me, I was that girl, right? Because till 3 years ago, I was this clueless girl who had no idea on how to actually, get onto that path. And that's the whole purpose of this channel. I don't want any girl to not be able to pursue her dreams due to lack of information. And I know that a lot of you have big ambitions and big dreams, but you just don't know how to. So I thought I'll just, tell you guys my story. It's not easy. Sometimes it takes multiple attempts. Things have to fall in place at the right time. Now for this video, I've even gotten myself a drink today because I know I'll be talking a lot. So I would suggest you also sit back, grab something to drink or to eat, and now I'll start the story. So this story starts back at when I was 16, and now as a teenager, I remember I was always fascinated by all these beautiful women whose pictures were there in the glossy papers, in the magazines. In fact, I even made cutouts and I had my own little scrapbook of all these Bollywood heroines. So I was pretty into it, yeah. And then there was this movie Fashion, which had Priyanka Chopra. I'm sure a lot of you remember that, and I have idolized Priyanka Chopra ever since I probably started, getting interested in these things. So I remember I used to watch that movie multiple times, and my mom would not approve of it because it does show some dark sides, and she would try to, stop me from watching it. So I think at a very young age, I was trying to live the life that I wanted my life to be when I grew up through a movie. And even though that movie showed a lot of dark aspects of the industry, it never fazed me. Somehow I was very confident even at that age that I'll handle it. I just know that I can still do this. I can make it. Somewhere it was a bug that just got seeded into me and it would not leave. And so when I was going into 11th grade, so 10th ke baad we all have to choose a subject, whether you want to go for bio or maths and all of that. So my parents sat me down and asked me, ki, what subject do you want to choose? And I was in that, this was like the peak of my, interest in modeling. So I was like, arts le lete hain, I to want to do modeling. I was a good student, okay, so I always used to be like first or second in class, but I was never interested in studying. I mean, that wasn't where my passion lies. So I was like, arts, and then I'll go into some modeling or fashion. I don't know what I was going to do at that time, but I knew that if I go into this engineering path, so it's not what I exactly want to do with my life. But I come from a middle class, back then conservative family, at least in these aspects, and so my mom's reaction exactly was, ye sanskar sikhaya maine tujhe, something like that, very melodramatic. And my dad was understanding. I mean, he's not the dramatic type, but at the same time he said ki, listen Nikki, we don't come from a very fancy rich family, and we don't have contacts in this industry, so I don't think we'll be able to help you. So many girls go to Mumbai to achieve these dreams. And what he said was making sense, obviously. Now I understand, but back then I was pretty pissed with him. And so he just said that we won't be able to give you any family support. Also, they didn't completely approve of it either, but my dad is was still better than my mom at that point. And so he suggested that I should go for fashion designing. He said, if you're interested in fashion, just go for designing school. Now I hated sketching, absolutely hated it. Even during art class, I enjoy painting, but sketching, nope, I did not want to pick up a pencil. So that just, and I knew someone in fashion designing school back then, so I just said, this is going to be slightly related to what I want to do, but it's going to be the opposite side of what I want to do. So it's probably just going to make me even more sad that I'll be designing clothes and models will be walking, but I want to be the model. And maybe that would have worked out if I had done it. A lot of designers are also models for their own clothing lines, but I didn't want to do that. I mean, if you're going to do something, do that, not something closely related to it. So long story short, I ended up taking maths, and I think most of you know the engineering path happened like any Indian kid. IIT JEE, BITS SAT. I got into BITS Pilani in 2012. Now, this bug of interest in modeling didn't leave me. Like even during 11th and 12th in my last 2 years at school, I was still taking part in fashion shows. In fact, here's a video of my first ramp walk on stage ever. I'm not sure if you guys can see me. I'm in the yellow top and I had a mustache. But like that interest was always there. I just knew I have to do this. And so I got into BITS Pilani in 2012, and even there I joined the fashion club. I even became the coordinator president of the fashion club in my 3rd year of college. And so I was always going to, stick to this. Like, I know this is an interest of mine, I'm not going to leave it. And throughout college, in my hostel room, I remember I used to binge watch Victoria's Secret fashion shows and other fashion shows and just, try to learn how they're walking. I just took it very seriously because that fashion club was not just a hobby club to me. It was what I wanted my life to be, say after college or even in college. That was just, it was so much more than just a hobby for me. And not just watching shows, I actually used to watch workout videos of specifically Victoria's Secret models before I went for my own workout sessions. I think looking back, I think subconsciously I was still manifesting everything that's happened to me today, because I knew I want to be a model, I want to get into this field, and one of the main things for a model is that she has to be physically fit. Now, what if the opportunity knocks at my door but I'm not ready? I wasn't going to let go of that one opportunity that comes my way. And so for that reason, I knew, like throughout college, I was working out just for this reason, so that if ever someone spots me or scouts me, and I had read stories of all these models being scouted. So naive Nikita used to think that she would someday get scouted, and so yeah, I just used to constantly like try to be as fit as possible in college with mess food and everything. But I tried my best, because you should be ready. It's not like the universe needs to know that you really want this, and that is what I was trying to do. And I also sent a few pictures of mine to these modeling agencies that just came up in my Google search. Now, in 2014, I had an internship that I got in Mumbai, and I specifically chose Mumbai because the city of dreams, and that's where the fashion industry is. And so I thought, let's just get to Mumbai. This was the first time I was going to Mumbai in my life. It was pretty exciting, and I was just like super nervous, had butterflies. According to my family, I was going there for an internship. In my head, I was just like, this is my break. It sounds really funny to me also looking back, but I did book an appointment with a modeling agency, got in touch with them, probably a shady one, probably, because they told me, okay, come down to our office on so and so date and time and we'll meet you. Now I know that this is not how agencies work, and I didn't have any pictures to show them, so I didn't have a portfolio. And I don't know why they called me then. Like, usually you're supposed to send your pictures to the portfolio email of an agency, and then if they like you, they revert and get back to you. Only then do you get to meet them. Nobody's gonna call you to their office like that. So anyway, on the assigned date, I actually went to Lower Parel. That was where the agency office was. And now I was this college student from Pilani. We didn't really dress up or groom ourselves that well. And I walk into that neighborhood, and there are all these beautiful tall women in heels with makeup. I didn't even have makeup on. And I just got super conscious and realized that maybe this is not my thing. Or in that moment, I felt like I did not belong there. I did not fit in. And I was not as confident as I am today, probably in my second year of college. In fact, there were days when I couldn't even make eye contact with people. I was a very underconfident girl. And so I did not go to the office. I came back. The agency never got in touch with me. I never sent them any message or call about why I didn't turn up. So that Mumbai chapter closed there. Now in 2016, I got an internship in Hyderabad, which is where I still live. And this time I thought, okay, let's give it a second attempt. And every time I was doing this when I was in a major city, because Pilani is a town, we didn't have a lot of exposure back there. And so I was aware of that. I couldn't do things from Pilani, obviously. So when I was in Hyderabad, this time again, I saved up money because I was getting a stipend. And I booked a portfolio shoot with a very famous photographer here. And it was pretty expensive. I had to save up a lot of money. And 2 weeks before the portfolio shoot date, I get down with malaria. All the money that I had saved went into the medicines, the treatment, and I had to book a flight back home to go back and recover. Even after coming back, I never had the same amount of money again, and I was too weak, and it kind of, at some level, I felt maybe it's not meant to be. ये बार-बार कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाती है every time I try to do this, and it's just not happening. I mean, it was very disheartening in that moment to lose all the money that you've saved for a shoot. So that way, my second attempt at getting into modeling or starting anything also failed. Now in 2017, I came back to Hyderabad after graduating finally. This time I didn't contact that photographer again. For some reason, that had died inside me. I had kind of given up on the fact that I can become a model. I just thought, I'm so old, I'm 23. All the stories that I read online, girls start working at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23 just sounded too old to me. But then around that same time, a friend of mine just told me this, ki you've had this dream for years, you've been talking about it. Why don't you actually do it now? You have the financial resources, you have the freedom. Till then, I had obviously moved to Hyderabad separately. I was financially independent. I knew I could do this even if my family did not support me. And so I was like, okay, that makes sense, but isn't it too late? I'm too old. And then around the same time, I saw a college senior of mine walking for Pune Times Fashion Week, and she was also getting trained at Cocoberry. That one person gave me hope. I still get goosebumps while talking about this. If I had not seen her, I would not have even attempted to ever get into this field. And I don't know what my life would be. But I saw her, I searched online, what is Cocoberry? I did all my research, still I didn't understand, okay? I understood what Cocoberry is after TGPC. But I did all my research, but that just gave me hope. Okay, if she can do it and she's a year older than me, then I can do it. It's not impossible. So I just started learning how to use Instagram. This was in 2017. And I learned how to use hashtags, and I started putting out pictures of myself. And when I started using Instagram, I started to get familiar with the term collaborations. Now, as much as I don't appreciate this unpaid work concept when it comes to collaborations, but back at that time, it did really help me a lot. And I started putting out pictures, and this one photographer from Dubai contacted me that I'm coming to Hyderabad, and he was a beginner. It was his first shoot ever. But somehow, because of the tags that I was using in my pictures, my face came up in the Hyderabad geotag list, and he thought I was photogenic, and so he said, okay, let's shoot. And the way he had approached me was very polite. So I was just like, okay, wow. I mean, I don't know how this happened, but it happened. And finally, someone wants to shoot with me. So I didn't actually go out and contact the photographer. He contacted me on Instagram. I was like, okay, I'm up for it. And so that first set of pictures came out, and I don't know how this happened. Maybe everything that you wished for all these years, subconsciously manifesting that dream. As soon as I put out those first shoot pictures, I started getting a lot of opportunities to shoot with photographers and makeup artists in Hyderabad. And gradually one thing led to the other. This first shoot with the Dubai photographer happened on January 25, 2018. I remember the date because it's my first shoot ever. And in February of 2018, I went and auditioned for Miss India. So a lot of you might not know this, but I attempted Miss India twice, and I won the state title the second time. The first time I was a complete noob. I did not know how to walk in heels. I bought my heels for the audition. Obviously not pageant heels. There were some open toe pumps which did not even fit me well, because while walking in the audition my foot came out of the heel. It was embarrassing. I got out and rejected in the first round itself. I didn't even make it to the question answer and introduction round, which I cried. I sat there in the audience and I cried. And my friend who had accompanied me to the audition were like, okay Nikita, you can't cry, be a good sport, come on, you can't just cry about these things. But I was devastated because, you know, all of a sudden things were happening. I was like, okay, this is my break, this is gonna happen. And I had no clue how much preparation, how much time, effort, sweat, tears goes into preparing for a pageant. So to be honest, I don't think I deserved to win in 2018 because I hadn't worked for it. In 2019 when I went back after a whole year, it was a 360-degree transformation in me. I knew how to stand, I knew how to walk, I knew how to talk, and that made me realize that's why it didn't happen at that time, because things happen at the right time, at the right place, and not just manifestation, there's a lot of hard work also that goes into it. So तब तक मैंने manifest किया था but hard work नहीं किया था. But that audition taught me so much. I sat there and I made a list of all the questions that were asked to all the contestants. That's one thing that I did, so that the next year, I knew I'm gonna come back next year. I've always been that person. I don't take failure that well. I cry about it, I curse myself. And I always go back and try to win it the next time. Like, that's just me. I have to go back. I won't give up. Even if it's probably something I'm not interested in, if I fail, it just gets to me and then I have to go and do it right. It's just the way I am. So I knew even then, like sitting at that 2018 auditions, I knew I'm going to come back in 2019. I gotta win this. I had no plan. Everything happened later, but I had absolutely no plan. But anyway, so I noted the questions and it did help me a lot next year. Now at this 2018 audition, I saw this contestant. She had this full face of makeup and hair done properly. I was a noob, I'll tell you, because the registration, the forms said natural makeup, and I thought natural makeup means stay natural, no makeup. So I turned up with like minimal makeup, just BB cream on my face, that's it. Absolutely no other makeup. I don't know what I was thinking. So anyway, I saw this contestant and I fell in love with her. I mean, she was so beautiful, and her name is Siddhi Idnani, and if you know her, that's amazing. So I heard her introduction and she had done theatre and films in Gujarati and Telugu, and I was like, okay, she's a big deal. So I came back, searched her on Instagram, and in her Instagram bio it said TGPC's season 3 winner, and I was like, what's this season 3? And I don't know, it just fascinated me, the word season 3. I'm like, okay, so बार बार होता है, कुछ तो हुआ है. And I googled online what is TGPC's Miss India, and at that time I think the registration forms were for season 5 were out and online. So I was sitting in my office and I filled the form for season 5 and then I forgot about it. I got back into work. A few months later, I get a mail telling me that you have been shortlisted for TGPC's Miss India season 5. I'm like, whoa, ऐसे ही भर दिया था मैंने ये form. And the pictures that I submitted for the TGPC's Miss India registration form, they also asked for 3 pictures just like Miss India. So I had pictures because I was doing a few photo shoots and modeling on the side on weekends. So I submitted those pictures and they happened to like it. And in these few months, I had watched especially Siddhi Idnani's performance, all her videos on their website. And then only I had actually registered for the season 5 because I just wanted to be very sure and know what I was getting into. So I saw Adeline's video, I saw Siddhi Idnani's video, and yeah, so I thought, okay, this seems doable, it's online, I can do it with my job. And I think you guys know the rest of the story. I won TGPC, Cocoberry happened, Miss India happened. It was all happening. I was putting in all the hard work and time, and at the same time I knew that it's taken me, like right now on this day, it's been 10 years since I told my parents I want to do modeling. Now here I want to cover this segment because I know that this is something a lot of girls face, that you don't have family support. How did your parents react to this? So I want to tell that separately. My parents did not know I was modeling for the first 6 months. They weren't on social media, they had absolutely no clue. And the thing is, I knew that if I tell them, even though I was financially independent, so I was able to do this, like thoda bahut makeup, what you have to buy, I was able to buy it. I didn't have to ask for money. I did obviously have to spend some money on buying new clothes because my office clothes weren't gonna work for photo shoots. So all of that was happening, and a few months down the lane, I told my mom about this, and she was okay with it, but only because I showed her my shoots in saris and lehengas. She wasn't approving still of anything that showed any skin and that she did not feel comfortable with. And gradually she came onto Instagram. 3-4 months after I told my mom, I told my dad, and I think I told my dad when I won TGPC. When I won it, he was actually very happy. See, the thing with parents is they might not approve of the process, but if you give them some result, it happens. So maybe they weren't very happy at first, but winning TGPC changed a lot of things, and he started going out and telling relatives कि अरे मेरी बेटी ने पता है इंडिया में से इतने participants थे, and then she won it. And to me it didn't feel like that big of a deal back then, but like my dad was super proud, and I was just like noticing these things at family events. हमें convince नहीं करना पड़ा, अपने आप ही saw the amount of dedication I have, and I was giving so much time and effort with a full-time job and doing this modeling and doing TGPC. So he saw ki, she's very dedicated. I think that changed something in them. Another thing that I actually sat down with my mom and discussed this. I told her this, that you know what, if every generation just listened to the previous generation and copied and did not ever disobey them or did not ever be rebellious, so how will the human race move forward? Obviously we had to do something different from our elders, from our grandparents, from our ancestors. दुनिया वहीं की वहीं रह जाती अगर कोई आगे कुछ नहीं करता. So that was another point of logic that I told my parents. And the thing with parents is, see, if your parents are not agreeing right now, show them this video, trust me. See, मैंने क्या किया अपने parents के साथ, I never lied to them. I hid the information that I was modeling, but once they knew, I've told them every single thing, even if something that I know they might not approve of, but I was like, now they know, so ab kuch filter nahi hai. So I try to make them more and more comfortable with everything. I tell them everything, and I told my mom this, ki see, you can either be my mom or you can be my best friend, and moms always want to be their daughter's best friend. So if you want to be my best friend, you have to be okay with certain things. You can't make me feel scared of sharing things with you. So over time I kept having these conversations with them, and yeah, it's a gradual change. It took a while. If some of the girls are here जिनके parents इतने understanding नहीं हैं, I know this happens. My advice to you will be, go and do your thing. Maybe अगर तुम्हारे parents supportive हैं, understanding हैं, it might not take as long for you as it did for me. If not, if you've tried everything and they're not understanding, still go after your dream. I'm telling you, because you can't have regrets. You can't spend your life trying to please your parents all the time. At one stage, you have to understand it is your life, and they also have to, take one step forward for the next generation and understand that we have to be there for her. I mean, being your parents doesn't mean just being protective all the time. Sometimes it means, okay, take this risk, I've got your back. This is my story, and I hope it helps some of you girls, pursue your dreams, and so that you know that it wasn't an easy journey for me either. I come from the same middle class family background as most of you do. It's not like I had supportive parents when it comes to this profession. But the important part is that you never give up on your dream. If something is not leaving you, like I've read this somewhere, that that dream that you want to become as a child, that never leaves you. And that is true, because when we are children, we judge ourselves the most unfiltered way, without any social biases. We don't care what people will think of us, and that is the most truthful version of ourselves, and that is what you have to be. You get one life, you can't spend it pleasing someone else. So go do your thing, and understand that if it's taking time, still don't give up. It took me almost a decade, and sometimes things will just happen at the right time. I just want you guys to know that even if things look like they're not working out right now, don't give up. Alright guys, so that's a wrap for this video. I hope you learned something from my story, or even if you just wanted to know out of curiosity. I just wanted to, put it out there so that a lot of you girls are my age and I know the kind of thoughts and dilemmas that go through a teenager's mind. And if I had heard someone's story like this back when I was 16 or 17, it would have helped me a lot, given me hope, or just, showed me some direction in life. I'm not sure if this story did that for you, but if it did for even one person, it would serve the purpose of this video. And so I just wanted to put out there, and yeah, I really love you guys a lot. I'll see you guys super soon in my next video, and then we'll get back to pageant prep. Bye bye.